viewers. Hey, 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 hey. So listen, I got another live set up for with our girl, but I want to talk about happy Martin Luther King birthday day today. It is sad that we're at a point in history where we are dealing with so much chaos. It almost feels like we are taking steps backwards. Um, Hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully that is not. Hopefully it'll get turned around real soon. But in the meantime and in between time, let's talk about what's going on with the Department of Justice. Just need a reason. It just blows my mind that they feel like they can come and enforce a law or, a chaos or a outrage with with somebody that they feel like that's going against their agenda, their artillery, going against the Trump, insisting that they release the Epstein files. Again, I'm going to say, release the Epstein files. Address Sasha Riley. Address that. And then some of this mayhem, this punishment that it feels like we are experiencing, we wouldn't have to experience. Because once you start dealing with that and talking about that, that's gonna keep you busy. That's gonna keep that behind busy. Hey, Cynthia. But in the meantime, let's talk about what's going on with Don Lemon. And why in the world, how on earth do you feel like you can charge him with a Ku Klux Klan act, a KKK act? Huh? For doing journalism, for going out in the trenches, for going where the mayhem is that y'all have already created. And because he's there when it pops off, you're going to charge him for a hate crime. Let's listen, y'all. Because that's what's going on. Let's go.
Good morning. And we're talking about what happened at this church in St. Paul. This shows the degree to which these protests have expanded in Minneapolis. And this particular incident is now triggering a federal investigation. A group of protesters stormed and disrupted a Sunday church service because of one of the pastor's possible connections to ICE.
He's
the U.S.
ICE
Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights announced there would be
Rabbi, Reverend Doctor, whoever he is an ICE agent. So here we go. A man allegedly of the cloth is participating in something that's totally opposite of Christ. So what type of church is this? Let's go.
Be a federal probe over this, writing this on X. The Civil Rights Division is investigating the potential violations of the Federal FACE Act by these people, desecrating a house of worship and interfering with Christian worshipers. The White House, meantime, is considering a federal troop deployment to Minnesota with 1,500 troops now on standby. President Trump has raised the possibility of invoking the Insurrection Act if the violent protests there continue, and that drew a swift rebuke from the mayor of Minneapolis.
This act was clearly designed to intimidate the people of Minneapolis, and here's the thing. we're not going to be intimidated. If the goal here is safety, we've got many mechanisms to achieve safety. Right now, we have about 600 police officers, and they've got 3,000 or so ICE agents and border control. That they are now talking about deploying 1,500 military. This is, well, it's ridiculous, but we will not be intimidated by the actions of this federal government.
The troops are from the U.S. Army's 11th Airborne Division. They're based in Alaska, and they specialize in cold weather operations. They are now on standby should the president order them in. Todd and Carly.
All right, Doug Lazater live for us in Washington. Doug, thank you. Let's bring in former DHS advisor and former Secret Service Supervisory Special Agent Charles Moreno. Charles, thank you so much for joining us. So over the weekend, as Doug was laying out, you had the disruption of this church service where people who were praying were forced to leave. Many people across the country are going to see that as a bridge too far. There's this other viral video that
somebody done lost their life
directly to the camera as protesters were honking their horns, saying, "What you guys are doing right now, you're supporting the a child sex predator who we are trying to arrest." So that video is also going viral. Just your thoughts on these two incidents as these protesters, those protests are still raging on.
Let's hear that for the ones in the back that didn't hear.
Well, good morning.
We're supporting the a child sex predator who we are trying to arrest. So that video is also going viral. Just your thoughts on these two incidents as these protesters are.
Well, who is the predator?
Service where people who were praying were forced to leave. Many people across the country are going to see that as a bridge too far. There's this other viral video that shows an ICE agent speaking directly to the camera as protesters were honking their horns, saying, "What you guys are doing right now, you're supporting the a child sex predator who we are trying to arrest." So that video is also going viral. Just your thoughts on these two incidents as these protesters those protests are still raging on in Minneapolis.
Well, good morning. There's been a lot of red lines crossed already, both by the governor and the mayor of Minneapolis, as well as these protest groups, some originating from the local area. But as this continues to expand, many protest groups will continue to originate from outside the area and even the region as they become more organized and more disruptive. Look, unfortunately, the position of Democrats and sanctuary cities is not going to change anytime soon. They are going to continue to play a role in inciting and obstructing when it comes to the enforcement of federal immigration laws. And they'll continue to villainize ICE at every opportunity they get. This can all be much simpler for authorities in Minneapolis if they collaboratively worked with ICE, allowed them into the jails, and allowed their state and local law enforcement to work with them. But that's not something that they choose to do. Instead, they choose to give unrealistic ultimatums to the federal government, saying that in order for things to be peaceful, ICE needs to leave. And that is never going to happen.
So, in light of what you just said, we have federal troops that are at the ready, in position, should Donald Trump send in the troops, the federal troops, to Minnesota.
Well, I was on record here the other day with Fox and Friends saying absolutely. The conditions exist on the ground. The president has the clear authority, and the Insurrection Act should, in fact, be invoked. It has become impossible and very dangerous for ICE and CBP to execute their statutory authorities within Minneapolis. And at some point in time, the courts also need to play more of a role here. They have boxed the president in. They have said that while he's allowed to federalize the National Guard, he's not allowed to deploy them, that he needs to exhaust all full-time resources. Well,
he just want to start a war
full-time military,
on you.
And that's why you now see 1,500 full-time military on standby, ready to come in. But the Insurrection Act, I think we're going to see sooner rather than later.
Well, the president has put 1,500 soldiers on standby for possible deployment.
Well, why don't he
at the same time the governor has placed the National Guard on standby?
Why not deploy the military to go pick up his cabinet ass friends that was abusing and trafficking kids? Why not use the military for that? Why are we always bypassing that? Huh? Why not? I don't get it.
I mean, if both groups of service members are deployed, who will be defending what? And what does that look like?
Well, if the president declares the Insurrection Act in effect, then he takes control of both the full-time military and the National Guard. So we wouldn't have a scenario here, which we've heard Mayor Fry of Minneapolis talk about many times, where we'd have a situation of state and locals fighting with ICE agents. I know they'd love to see that happen, but it's not going to happen. I don't think you'll see state and local law enforcement ever follow that type of guidance. But when it comes to the military, we would not have a scenario where the full-time military is now going up against the National Guard because one was activated by the local government as opposed to the federal government.
Meantime, the New York Post is reporting that a socialist group here has plans to round up more than 4,000 individuals for what they are referring to as a rapid response team. These individuals are then going to protest ICE and do a lot more than protest, as the article explains. So, if they obstruct federal law enforcement, Charles, do you think DOJ needs to prosecute every single one of them in order to ultimately send a message in order to get this obstruction to stop?
Yeah, I've got to say, like I said, the red lines have been crossed, especially in Minnesota. I believe
Absolutely have been
investigations
crossed.
should be well underway.
They need to
not
be
just
deploying
being looked at with respect
military to go pick
obstruction,
up them nasty
incitement,
ass men
as well
in,
as threats
in
against
the, on
federal
the
agents. And I think
congressmen.
those charges, or potentially those charges, should be explored in other sanctuary locations as ICE continues to carry out their mission. Law enforcement is going to have to pay very close attention to the intelligence here regarding these groups. Many of them radical, many of
They're
them
not radical.
aligned with groups like Antifa and others that are going to want to
Oh my God, I can't stand the lion.
and mix it up with federal agents, because it's the narrative of Democrats that it's ICE's fault. ICE should be villainized. Law enforcement is at fault here for the situations that exist on the ground. And that's entirely false. And I don't think the overwhelming majority of the American public are buying into that nonsense.
The nation watches as New York City could be next. Former DHS advisor and former Secret Service Supervisory Special Agent Charles Marino, thank you. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here.
Hold on, y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Please come in. Hit the like button.
The Trump administration has a huge problem with the First Amendment. Kylie put up this tweet from little DL Queen Benny Johnson. Breaking, DOJ announces intention to charge Don Lemon under the Ku Klux Klan Act. I want to remind everybody that Don Lemon is a black man, and today is Martin Luther King Day. And I have to join us right now none other than best friend of iHip News, Don Lemon. Don, how did you hear about this?
I heard of someone texted me and said, oh my gosh, I'm really sorry that you're going through this. And I said, going through what? Because I've been traveling all night. I was in Minnesota, and that's how I heard about it. But I have not heard anything from anybody, DOJ official. I've just heard lots of people just yapping, on either the internet, on social media, or on alert, podcast or Fox News.
All right, so walk us through this. You went to Minnesota. You're an independent journalist. I'm sure everybody's abundantly clear with your work. And you are reporting on all of these ICE protests, and you end up at a church. Is that what this is regarding?
Yeah, so I went to Minneapolis to cover the unrest there. And I was asking people what's going on the ground. I'm going to get there. Should I go directly to the Whipple, whatever? And they said, well, there's this thing happening that they've been sending out flyers for. Perhaps you want to cover this. So I said, sure. And I went, okay, I'll cover. And then when I went to cover it, they said, we're doing this protest that is sort of similar to the civil rights movement, where they show up places and they sort of disrupt the peace, like sitting in at lunch counters or, drinking out of water fountains that were only supposed to be for white people. And I said, sure, I'll go, I'll chronicle it. And they ended up at a church. I didn't even know they were going to a church. And they ended up at a church. And so once they went and did their thing, other journalists started going in, and I went in. So I'm not exactly sure, Jen, how I became the face of it, unless they just think I'm the bigger name, but it's bizarre. And I reported on it. I interviewed everyone there, the pastor, some of the congregants, and...
He brought up Sasha Riley a day or two before. Let's be clear. Okay?
And the protesters. And they ended up at a church. I didn't even know they were going to a church. They ended up at a church, and so once they went and did their thing, other journalists started going in, and I went in. So I'm not exactly sure, Jen, how I became the face of it, unless they just think I'm the bigger name, but it's bizarre. And I reported on it. I interviewed everyone there, the pastor, some of the congregants, and the protesters. And that was it. And now all of a sudden it blew up into this big thing where I am the one who is leading the protest, and somehow I'm the agitator here when I'm just the journalist.
And so this church,
wow.
It was
of water fountains that were only supposed to be for white people. And I said, sure, I'll go, I'll chronicle it. And they ended up at a church. I didn't even know they were going to a church. They ended up at a church. And so once they went and did their thing, other journalists started going in, and I went in. So I'm
That's
not
what I
exactly
saw as
sure,
well.
Jen, how I became the face of it, unless they just think I'm the bigger name, but it's bizarre. And I reported on it. I interviewed everyone there, the pastor, some of the congregants, and the protesters. And that was it. And now all of a sudden it blew up into this big thing where I am the
because he
one who
talked
is leading
about,
the protest,
inquired about,
I'm the agitator
titled
just the journalist.
Alive about Sasha
and so
Riley.
this church, it is friendly, is ICE friendly, is my understanding.
That's the reporting. So according to the group, and I have not been able to confirm this again because this wasn't my movement. I am chronicling what happened. They said that they found evidence that someone who is a pastor or registered as a pastor there is also an ICE agent or works in some capacity with ICE. And they said they had information about that. And they think that if that is the case, why are you a pastor at a church if you were working as an ICE agent? Mm-hmm. And so that's what their skirmish was about. That's what they went in to protest. And that's what I went in just to report on.
Well, I can certainly understand their frustration with that, because all of the grifting through Christianity and overt patriotism, and then these people can't call out the Jeffrey Epstein pedophilia ring. It's very alarming. But I took from your Instagram, you interviewed this pastor, and let's watch this together from your Instagram, and then I want to get your take on what was going on. Play the clip.
Okay.
What do you think of this? I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
but there were folks who will...
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live there's a Constitution and a First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus, because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship
Jesus. Oh, he pushed him? Oh, he was pushing him? Oh, hold on.
To freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus, because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world, is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yes.
Okay. That's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I ask that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. Yeah. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Weird to me that he's all about, this is the type of Christianity I grew up around. Recruiting, but not helping, not comforting, not providing. Like, these people are hurting. These people that ICE are targeting are suffering. They're marginalized. And I thought you did an excellent job with the pastor saying, don't you think Jesus would want to talk to these people and help these people?
Yeah. Well, and also remember, as someone who wrote the book and was on your show wrote a book about God, Jesus turned the tables over in the temple, right? He flipped the tables because he was tired of them, not doing what they're supposed to do in his Father's house and not living up to the tenets of Christianity.
Your
And so,
funky, nasty hands
it
off me.
is surprising to me if it is true that this person is somehow works for ICE. And also, it is true that they're not understanding now of the protesters is that they're doing the exact opposite of what Christianity is supposed to be about.
Absolutely.
And I say in the reporting, Jen, if you look at it, and if you go and look at the full thing, I say it's interesting that you see the people over here praying and then the people over here protesting. But if they got together, they could solve this problem.
Harmony.
If you had
Unity.
people understanding, but it doesn't seem like anyone wanted to talk to each other. Now, I think the protesters actually went there to talk
because
to
he's still
these guys,
he a part of
to
that
disrupt.
cover
True.
up of the
But I
church.
think they went there to talk to them, and I think if the pastor, who was what I would have done, Jen, is I would have said, no, we live in a country where we welcome dissent. We welcome peaceable the right to peaceably assemble. We welcome that, and so. We may not like it. It is uncomfortable, but that's what protest is about, discomfort. So since you're here, let's please calm down. Let's try to talk. What would you like us to do? What do you want us to know? What would you like us to hear? What can we do to help you in our Father's house, in the people's house? What can we do? None of that happened. I think he started to, when we got there, I think he started just, to preach sort of against the protesters or whatever, which I think is a natural reaction. But I think if you are going to be a representative of the Lord and of God, then perhaps you should conduct yourself as such. Now, let me say this, Jen. I understand that people don't encounter this all the time and that it can be unnerving for some people, especially for young people. But I think in the way that you handle it with young people is what I said before. This is what America is about. This is the reason we have a Constitution. People don't always agree. This is part of the rights that we're given under the Constitution we may not like. Don't be disheartened by it. But so.
But remember, he's not going by the Constitution.
Did we lose Dawn? Dawn? Hang on, guys. Everybody stay. I think maybe
Did you lose
Wi-Fi?
me? I think
you're
lost
back.
Me. Yeah.
I got you. You're back. Okay.
You lost me for
Live
a second.
TV.
I'm back. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Dawn, let's get to the nut cutting.
Yes. Could you
Here's
hear
my
everything I was
observation.
saying?
Yes. Let me get to the nut cutting of what I think this is about. So that is one of those white evangelical churches that turn out to vote for Donald Trump 80+% of that sect of Christianity. These are the don't tread on me folks. These are the people who feel like America is for Americans and American only. These are white nationalists. And the DOJ got their panties in a wad because these protesters went straight to them and addressed their hypocrisy. You, a gay black journalist, are, prime bait for them to drum up these charges. But so that's one issue. You went right into the most entitled white nationalists there are.
Oh, wow.
And they feel that ICE is 100% justified. But secondly, I find it incredibly rich.
Thank you for the thumbs
Benny
up.
Johnson, who outed himself online when he was searching for gay cruises, and he didn't realize he gets targeted ads back at him, right? And we all know the rumors about Benny Johnson. I find it incredibly rich. We lost Don. Maybe he'll be right back in. Kylie, will he be right back in?
Y'all hit the like button.
He should be right back in.
Looked like he was having some Kylie.
Some Wi-Fi issues.
Okay.
Hi, Renee.
Hopefully he comes right back. But what I'm trying to get at, you guys, is that here he is. Don, can you hear me? I don't know if he can hear me. Don, can you hear me? Don? I wonder what's going on. Is he still in Minneapolis?
He acts like he can't even see. Please double tap the face of your screen. I hit the 3 dots at the top right corner. I didn't really. I want to talk about the Sasha situation because he said he woke up and this was, he didn't know if it was true or not. He had to get right, but he still had it in his title and he still talked about it. And most of the higher regards journalists or YouTube influencers was trying to stay away from it, and they were banking on that. So just him bringing it up will get feet for it to grow.
He's back out.
He's back out. Is he in Minneapolis still? Maybe not good Wi-Fi?
He looks like
Pamela.
he's traveling.
Okay. All right. What I was trying to say, you guys, is that I think it's incredibly rich of these people. That style of church is what average, everyday people that are of their own personal private faith, that kind of evangelical church where they're all about recruiting and they're all about, we just need to know Jesus personally and not about helping people. They don't think they should be confronted. Okay, Dawn, are you there? Dawn?
This is not working.
Oh, wait, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Dawn? Can you hear me? Dawn?
Oh my gosh. I know, live. It's live. Jen, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You are cutting out. Don't go anywhere. Hold on. It will get better. I don't know what's happening.
Are you still in
But you're
Minneapolis?
cutting out. I think it may be on your end. But anyways, let me
It's not on my end. Oh, wait, he's back in.
be
Okay.
the Wi-Fi.
Back
How
out.
about now? Are you there?
I can see you. I mean, I can hear you. I cannot see you.
You can.
I can hear you. I cannot see
You
you.
can't see me.
No. You guys, just bear with me. We'll see if we can get Dawn. He thinks it's going to get better. Dawn? Oh, there we go. That looks good. What? Oh, does he keep entering multiple times?
I entered because it's on a better thing. How's this?
That's better. Okay. Let me get to this nut cutting here. And I don't know how much of that you heard, but I think that style of church, that's the white nationalist style of church. That sect of evangelical Christianity has its rooting
Which is
in the
liberty
KKK,
and
because
what's
the
the
KKK
other
was a religious
Yeah.
movement for white nationalists.
Right.
And I think this DOJ, via Pam Bondi, who wears her crucifix, who will not ever address anybody's suffering, they have a problem with those types of white people being confronted and called out on their hypocrisy. Furthermore, the staggering hypocrisy of Benny DL Demon Queen Johnson breaking this story when he outed himself with the, the ads, targeted ads based on your Google searches. I think it's just really, really interesting. I think these MAGA men, they have like a hive mind. None of them are unique. None of them are the alphas they think they are. They just all
probably
take their
in his
orders every
stuff.
day. What's Elon saying? What's
Yeah,
Trump
I mean,
saying?
it's
And they
that
have to
Jerry
bend and mold. And you
Falwell,
are a
Turning Point
prize for them.
USA, what was that?
An
Liberty
independent,
University. It's
Black,
still that
happy,
same
successful
undercover.
man. And this is an attempt to intimidate and beat you down.
I don't disagree with that. And I didn't hear the first part, but I think that there is obviously there's racism in it. The whole point of it is that they're detaining people on the streets because of accents in the color of their skin, and they're also targeting people of color and black people as well as brown people. So there is a certain degree of racism there, and there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice. but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, you know, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you know, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America, and you have a platform, and you're the biggest name. Of course you're going to be the person that they single out, and they're going to make the headline because it plays to their base. And their base is full of racist, bigoted homophobes, like Nicki Minaj, by the way.
Oh, pop that up. So Nicki Minaj sent a tweet out. Dawn cocksucking, her words, lemon is
Nicki
disgusting.
Minaj.
How dare
Baby,
you?
it's just
I
a
want
matter
that
of
thug
time.
in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. And then she bizarrely puts a Chucky doll with it. So number one, the homophobia laced in that. But number two,
and her brothers and her husbands are pedos.
Christianity, the white nationalist form of Christianity that I guess now Nicki
I can't
Minaj
stand black people like
herself
that.
to. I'm like, good luck with that, sis. At the end of the day, you're still black.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely. How do you forget that? You get lost in the sauce.
Dawn cocksucking, her words, lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want
and your
that thug in
dude
jail.
and your brother.
He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. And then she bizarrely puts a Chucky doll with it. So number one, the homophobia laced in that. But number two, the way this sect of Christianity, the white nationalist form of Christianity that I guess now Nicki Minaj attaches herself to, I'm like, good luck with that, sis. At the end of the day, you're still
turning
black.
point. She was at turning point.
They use their religion as a weapon, but then they also use it as a shield. Back
Hypocrites.
and forth. They weaponize it, and then, oh my God, I'm a victim. Don't attack my Christianity. And that's what Nicki Minaj just did right there. And I have news for Nicki Minaj. You think these white nationalists are going to accept you and your WAP? Just hide and wait. These people are serious about their racism.
Yeah.
Minaj.
Well, I'm glad you said WAP, and if you listen to Nicki Minaj's music and you're like, okay, that's Christianity. First of all, Jen, you know, how we met is that I was promoting my book on Christianity. And so Nicki Minaj is not a Christian. She knows nothing about Christian. What she is a grifter. And instead of that Chucky doll, she should have had a pick-me doll in there because Nicki Minaj is a pick-me. And she's not African American. I think she's from the islands. She is a black woman, but she doesn't understand the African American struggle, so to speak.
See, this is what kills me, because they think that they're in a particular class where they are accepted. And when it's making America great again, and they are out to remove, it don't matter what class you think you in, how much money you think you have. When the KKK went in, and first of all, when we came over royal, and they still enslaved. Black Wall Street, there were millionaires there. They were of a certain level. And they still found havoc. So it's just a matter of time before they shift gears, and then they go in on celebs. So hold your horses, little girl who have forgotten where you came from. That MAGA, you and Kanye, because Kanye is ice now. Did y'all see that? Kanye is ice. Yeah, and when they get mad at you, Kanisha, Kenyatta, he gonna turn on you again. Yeah. Did y'all know he ice now? Let me get to it. Yeah, he ICE agent. He on the he on the streets, or that's the photo op. Let me say that. Or that's the photo op. Hold on. Yeah, the photo op. Kanye joins ICE. What about Nelly and Ludacris? They joined ICE too? He on the streets. Is he detaining somebody? See, this. Hopefully, this is just a photo op. You know how we do. You know how we do, huh? Is this just a photo op? Let me take this down. You know, is this just a guest appearance? Is his hand on somebody? Is this just a photo op? Yeah, is this just a photo op? Yeah, you know, is this just a what are they called? A crisis actor? Is he crisis acting? What is this? Huh? So he out there working? He working the streets now? I mean, because for him to be the only one with a hat on his head that says MAGA, I'm assuming that this is, you know, for not political, for not even entertainment. It's just, what is this? He was out with ICE. Man. Y'all see the upload now, the Black Panthers. I'm like, this is all bait. We bet not fall for the banana and the tailpipe and go out there in this foolishness. In this foolishness for this sicko right here. We bet not. We bet not. This better be for a dang movie. So he icing now. He ice, baby. Is that what y'all telling me? My brainwash. He must have made the suit he doing it for money. Who else did I see that had on a black one? I don't know. I know it ain't cool. I know he got black kids, but you know, people with money tend to think that, oh, it's not about me. It's about, you know, the other ones. Is this for real? Yes, it's Kanye West. Was seen in full ICE tactical gear making arrests. I don't know, you know, the family he was in, you know, they real good on political stunts and stuff. You know, photo ops. You know, next thing you know, he'll have a song. I mean, if he understands the MK Ultra, if he is in tune with Hollywood and the politics of it all, like Candace say he is, then he finna have a song that come out. Hey, Be Rich. You know, hopefully, you know, but I don't know. He got a video, you know, coming out, and it's going to reflect that, and hopefully it's going to be talking against it. But, you know, them Nicki Minaj's and, you know, Kanye's and Kim Kardashians and all of this type stuff. I don't know. You can never tell. They haven't lived that life. They don't know a lot about it. And all they do know, really, unless they've done the research, is what you was taught about it. Yeah. Yeah. Before, did I put his name in the title? Hold on. Let me see what name I have in this title. Let me see. Yeah, I thought this is just some of the craziest stuff. It's almost like, do I even want to wake up in the morning and get to it? Because you don't know how far this mess done went or what's going on in them streets like that. It's just, it's just, this is some of the craziest mess. Hold on, y'all. Let me make a little clip of it. The one that other day, they got it. I knew they was gonna get it. That's why I had a whole bunch of little clippings. If y'all be wondering why Auntie P be having all them clippings, cause when you talk politics like that, and old Bundy, they gonna be quick to grab it. So thank goodness I had little clippings of it. Let me grab a little clip. You lost Kanye a long time ago. Yeah. Homeboy Ice. He's Ice baby for Trump. So if y'all wonder what happened to that video, that's what happened to it. Woo! I knew when I was having a whole bunch of questions on it. Okay, it's coming. Hold on. How he spell his name? K-A-N. Y'all get the likes up. I almost thought it was Biggie's mom who was an immigrant, not Kanye's. Because I was finna say, Kanye, you better be cool, partner, because your mama was an immigrant. But that was Biggie's mama, right? These people think that they exempt. They only like you because as far as you can help it. That's like they said it was a black man helping them gather up slaves back in that era, right? They better play it safe. But I see it all the time. People think that they one of them. Oh, they are accepted. They are the token. Yeah, until they no longer need you, until they get everything they want, and then they're going to kick you to the curb like they always do. Oh yeah, now Nicki Minaj, I know she an immigrant. And only thing probably saving her is that her brother and her husband, the same type of dirty Trump and his partners is. Miss Wallace passed away, yeah. May she rest in peace. But I knew one of their parents was from an island. I'm going to say it like that. And baby, them going to be the ones. I can't stand it because they're going to be the ones that thinking, oh, but I thought we were cool. I thought you thought, oh, so you thought you was exempt. Yeah, I was helping you. Yeah, and I paid you your coins. Silver. Ain't that what Judas did? You got paid. Yeah, but you still got, you still got to go. You still fall up in that category, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's Uncle Tommy to me. Ain't that what that's called? What is that called when you eating out they tail because you think that y'all friends are cool or, you know, yeah. I'm finna get back to it, y'all. I had to make that little clip just in case. You know. Just in case. Yeah. Yeah, I knew that was gonna cause a problem. I had both of them on there too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Auntie B. Oh yeah. You think you think we not finna have no problem. Let me stay over here for a minute, y'all. Cause there was some good stuff over here. Yeah, that we need to kind of address on the code. Cause Sasha, some of them old little videos. And I thought this was cool. Hold on, what was that? Yeah, this is the one I saw with Don.
Clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is.
Tell us why you're doing this.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there. And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now. Demanding justice for Renee Good and letting them know that this will not stand. They cannot pretend to be a house of God while harboring someone who is directing ICE agents to wreak havoc upon our community and who killed Renee Good, who almost killed a 6-month-old baby. Enough is enough. I am a reverend on top of being a lawyer and an activist. So I come here in the power of the Almighty God.
Tell us why you're doing this.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there. And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now. Demanding justice for Renee Good and letting them know that this will not stand. They cannot pretend to be a house of God while harboring someone who is directing ICE agents to wreak havoc upon our community and who killed Renee Good, who almost killed a 6-month-old baby. Enough is enough. I am a reverend on top of being a lawyer and an activist. So I come here in the power of the Almighty God.
Tell us why you're doing this.
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show.
She said she came in the name of the Lord. She came in the name of the Lord. I came in the name of the Lord. Who did you come in the name of? ICE. Who did you come in the name of? Who did you come in the name of? Oh, baby, this right here. 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 We want to know, huh? It says, if you know, you know. We want to know about Sasha. We want y'all to go in and use ICE or whoever else to go in on the businessman who was with you on those farms. Yeah, why you have bowel problems. Let's talk about it. What happened? Let me show y'all what it says. You know, you know. Thank you, Sasha Riley. Now, I'm going to move right on. But if you know, you know. Yeah, why we not sending people here? Why? Why? I appreciate this one right here as well, y'all. I appreciate this right here.
Eternal God, our Father.
So, you know, he exposed a lot. He had this.
Let's go into the mind of God. Eternal God, our Father. The name that is above every name.
Yeah.
That at the name of Yeshua the Christ, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess that Yeshua the Christ is God, is Lord. A lot of information was exposed here today, Lord. And sing your angelic, unfallen angels around my brother, around his family, and
my
around me and my staff.
Sippers.
Protect us. And I pray, God, that this information that was powerfully articulated through an anointed dissection of your word and of the conception, the history of now, I pray that this city will come to know you, Christ. Because we expose the immaculate conception of history through the assassination of Kobe Bryant, which is so beyond the minds of people, but allow what was said here today to be planted as a seed.
Plant the seed.
To awaken this generation and beyond.
Awake,
and
Lord.
Bless my brother, bless his family, and bless his podcast. And I pray, God, let the words of our mouth and let the meditation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight.
Yes.
O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer, we exalt your holy name in Christ's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
I so appreciated that. Not often do we see that.
Let's go into the mind
as
of God.
Truth is
Eternal
unfolded.
God, our Father.
Now, he was talking about Kobe.
The name.
But he talks about some of everything that's going on right now and revealing it. He has said that the plane that Kobe was on was tampered with. And it links back to some of the same men and exposure. And I think he implied like the sacrifice was
let's go into the mind of God.
Tied to the girl that Kobe had that issue with, that he had to go to court with those allegations. But there was some things that was being revealed to Kobe, and he was unalived. But he's very good at explaining to us, or you, whoever, about, hey, Cooley, about the political whitewashing and sabotaging. So I appreciated him after everything that he had discussed with this podcaster, that he and the guy asked it, can we end in prayer? And he said, of course, let's end.
Eternal God, our Father, the name that is above every name.
Yes, Lord.
That at the name of Yeshua the Christ, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess that Yeshua the Christ is God, is Lord. A lot of information was exposed here today, Lord. And sing your angelic, unfallen angels around my brother, around his family, and around me and my staff. Protect us. And I pray, God, that this information that was powerfully articulated through an anointed dissection of your word and of the conception, the history of now, I pray that this city will come to know you, Christ, because we expose the immaculate conception of history through the assassination of Kobe Bryant is so beyond the minds of people, but allow what we said here today to be planted as a seed to awaken this generation and beyond, and bless my brother, his podcast. And I pray, God, let the words of our mouth and let the meditation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight. O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer, we exalt your holy name in Christ's holy name. Amen. Thank you, sir.
Amen. I could so appreciate that. Absolutely. Now, I wanted to hear this one. I don't remember what this one is.
Flips Donald Trump's entire narrative. What if I told you Mark Epstein just dropped a bombshell? One that flips Donald Trump's entire narrative on its head. According to Mark, it wasn't Trump who cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein. It was Jeffrey Epstein who walked away first, after realizing Trump was a crook. Think about what that means. For years, Trump has repeated the same story, that he barely knew Epstein, that he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, that he distanced himself the moment he found out Epstein was doing bad stuff. But Mark Epstein's statement shatters that version of events. If Jeffrey was the one who severed the relationship, then Trump's favorite talking point isn't just misleading, it collapses entirely. Listen to this from the horse's mouth, and then tell me what you think about it.
Steve Bannon was doing interviews with Jeffrey and taping them, and Jeffrey had sent me a Dropbox link to one of those interview sessions, and on that tape, Jeffrey clearly stated that he stopped Trump when he realized Trump.
Y'all hit the like button. What happened to the volume?
One that flips Donald Trump's entire narrative on its head. According to Mark, it wasn't Trump who cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein. It was Jeffrey Epstein who walked away first, after realizing Trump was a crook. Think about what that means.
How you didn't know that?
For years, Trump has repeated the same story, that he barely knew Epstein, that he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, that he distanced himself the moment he found out Epstein was doing bad stuff. But Mark Epstein's statement shatters that version of events. If Jeffrey was the one who severed the relationship, then Trump's favorite talking point isn't just misleading, it collapses entirely. Listen to this from the horse's mouth, and then tell me what you think about it.
Steve Bannon was doing interviews with Jeffrey and taping them, and Jeffrey had sent me a Dropbox link to one of those interview sessions, and on that tape, Jeffrey clearly stated that he stopped hanging out with Trump when he realized Trump was a crook.
What if I told you Mark Epstein just dropped a bombshell? One that flips Donald Trump's entire narrative on its head. According to Mark, it wasn't Trump who cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein. It was Jeffrey Epstein who walked away first, after...
Hold on. really think that this is a lookalike? Do y'all really think this is him? Hey, Room Shaker. Don't that look like a lookalike? Laughing at him. Boo! 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 Yeah, I wanted to hear this and show y'all something.
Sensitive story, and it deserves to be handled with care. I want to start by saying that I know that this is a highly sensitive story, and it deserves to be handled with care. It is not my intention in this video to prove to you that every claim made in this story is true. My intention is to walk through the publicly available timeline and many facts that I do not hear being covered, because so much of the focus for the people that are covering Mr. Riley's story is this a conspiracy? Is it a psyop? What I want to do is, I don't want to act as judge and jury. I want to look at the facts against the available proof, and then I want to let it sit while we all collectively decide how we feel about it. If you haven't heard the interviews, I will link them in the comment section. And if you can't listen to them, which it took me a week to get through them because it's a lot emotionally, I will also link to a PDF which summarizes basically
shout out to the survivors
and a basic timeline. With all of that out of the way, and with all of the respect that I can muster to cover this story, this is the Sasha Riley story. I'm aware that Sasha uses they, them pronouns, but for the purposes of this video, because I'm talking about so many different people, I don't want there to be any confusion about who I'm talking about. So I will be addressing Sasha as he for those purposes only. Sasha was born in 1973. Birth name was Manuel Sasha Barros. He was adopted when he was 4 into what he says was a trafficking network. The man that adopted him was a pilot. His name is William Kyle Riley. Okay, and that is the man that raised Sasha Riley. William Kyle Riley, again, that's the father. He was a pilot, and his family has very well summarizes basically what was said, the events, and a basic timeline. With all of that out of the way, and with all of the respect that I can muster to cover this story,
I'm trying to get to the one where his dad made him fight.
Sasha uses they, them pronouns. But for the purposes of this video, because I'm talking about so many different people, I don't want there to be any confusion about who I'm talking about. So I will be addressing Sasha as he for those purposes only. Sasha was born in 1973. Birth name was Manuel Sasha Barros. He was adopted when he was 4 into what he says was a trafficking network. The man that adopted him was a pilot. His name is William Kyle Riley. Okay, and that is the man that raised Sasha Riley. William Kyle Riley, again, that's the father. He was a pilot, and his family has very well documented ties to the Dixie Mafia, which has a long history of crime and trafficking. So we'll just leave that there. The adoption took place in Ranger, Georgia, which from everything that I can find is where the father still lived. Again, I'm not going to go over the specifics. It's worth stating that there are a lot of allegations that he was part of these parties that were happening and that there was a lot of SA and things that shouldn't have been happening. So around the age of 18, he joins the U.S. Army, serves honorably, earns decorations, and somewhere around 2008, at Fort Carson, a fellow soldier was caught with child porn on his laptop. And some of that material included videos of Sasha Riley.
When he
so
was
the people in command brought it to his attention and asked him, is this you? And he said, yes, it is. It's important to say that even all the way back then, that was almost 20 years ago, those people were aware that these were children in a child film. If you've made it this far in the video, please put the words "we want the truth" in the comment section, like, repost, and follow for updates. In February 2023, Sasha starts to speak out. Major, just little posts on Twitter.
2023.
He referenced Epstein, he referenced
No, 2022,
parties,
really.
names. He didn't have a big following, so it doesn't go viral, but it's there. That's the point, okay? It's documented, it's consistent. I say that because there's a lot of talk that, he came out of nowhere to affect the 2026 midterm. No. He's been talking about this for quite some time now. And I think it's important to say that he has been as transparent as Saran Wrap, posting everything to include his adoption records, all the contacts that he's had. We'll
responses on
and for 2 years while he was doing this, nobody reached out to him, no law enforcement, and he repeatedly said that he was willing to testify under oath. And he was basically calling out the systemic failures about statute of limitations, that there was this huge system of people who were basically covering it up. And still, no response until the summer of 2025. After Epstein-related documents surfaces, the FBI reaches out to Sasha Riley. Of course, he responds immediately, providing records, notebooks, testimony. For the first time in his life, there's someone in an official capacity who's listening. But of course, no investigation followed. So in September of 2025, Sasha proactively reaches out to Democratic aides on the House Oversight Committee. He travels to D.C. He handed over both physical and digital evidence. He offered a polygraph. He offered sworn testimony. And then he did something that most survivors could not probably ever stomach doing. He sat down and he recorded a 4-hour interview with journalist Lisa Noel Volding. Calm, detailed, consistent. It's released publicly. No monetization gimmick, no hiding behind a paywall, no anonymity. Just, here's my story. Verify it. Then in November 2025, the Epstein files, some of them, were released. Thousands of pages. And Sasha points out the overlaps between those documents and his story. Logs, pilots, still no direct acknowledgement. Then in early January 2026, just a few days ago, his story begins to explode online. Tens of thousands of engagements. And then he met with Oklahoma law enforcement. He named names and he posted the contacts of the people that he met with publicly. He told them, release the records publicly for the survivors. And as of today, he has left the United States for safety reasons, which I'm sure I don't need to enumerate for you. But he is standing in the open saying, test me, verify me, put me under oath. Goes with this. I know that there are a lot of people questioning the veracity of this story. And that's fair. There are a lot of atrocious things talked about in those interviews. But I think it's more important to focus on the touch points, right? Because until you get some kind of documented credibility, which can only be verified by the timeline and the touch points that can be verified, legal records, police reports, etc., until that happens, it's all speculation.
Yeah, no,
and I don't know what it's going to take to push a story like this to the top, but I wanted to make sure to put it on your radar for Sasha and for all.
Yeah, no, that's not. Hold on. And they said this is not AI. Not AI, not a Photoshop, just all photos taken from the Epstein archive. Go ahead, add a photo to Google Lens. If it were fake, it would say so. Let me cut that. It says right there, no AI. Hold on. Definitely a minor. I'm trying, maybe it's this one where he talks about the fighting, so I can show y'all some.
Those people was if, but what my
my dad, but the experience that my dad sold to those people was, if you could pin me, then you could do whatever you wanted.
If you can pin me.
Taught me how to fight.
Y'all hit the like button.
Like a bare knuckle brawler earlier in his life. And
so his dad taught him, the foster man taught him how to fight, right? Are y'all still with me? Can y'all hear me? He taught him how to fight, right? Remember that. Come on.
Pin me, then you could do whatever you wanted. But my dad had taught me how to. But the experience that my dad sold to those people was, if you could pin me, then you could do whatever you wanted. But my dad had taught me how to fight. He had been like a bare knuckle brawler earlier in his life, and I know that he had worked kind of just beating people up for a little extra money at one point in his life. He also entered into like the tough man contest, stuff like that. So it was kind of a game for them, because I was just a child, so you would think that you could just do whatever you wanted. But if they got anywhere near me, I would hit them. And by the time that Jim Jordan assaulted me, I was
Jim Jordan.
Those adults, most of them not being athletic in any way. These are people that they're not fighters by any stretch. They couldn't get anywhere near me, and Jim Jordan just sort of rushed me and tackled me, and I might have known how to fight, but I didn't know how to wrestle. So he assaulted me in front of a crowd, and I think that it was filmed, but I can't swear that it was filmed, but it was in front of those 25 or 50 people.
And how old were you?
That's why I remembered. I was around 12.
12.
When that happened.
And of those 25, 50 people, sorry, go ahead.
The reason that I remember Jim Jordan is, first, he stood out because he wasn't, those adults most of them not being athletic in any way. These are people that, they're not fighters by any stretch. They couldn't get anywhere near me, and Jim Jordan just sort of rushed me and tackled me, and I might have known how to fight, but I didn't know how to wrestle. So he assaulted me in front of a crowd, and I think that it was filmed, but I can't swear that it was filmed, but it was in front of those 25 or 50 people.
And how old were you?
That's why I remembered. I was around 12.
12.
When that happened.
And of those 25, 50 people, sorry, go ahead.
The reason that I remember Jim Jordan is, first, he stood out because he wasn't that much. He's only like 7 or 8 years older than me. So at the time frame that I'm at 12, he is right around just graduating high school, maybe first year or two of college, right? So him being so much younger stood out. And then I remembered his jawline. He has a very pronounced jawline. I remembered his voice. And his mannerisms haven't changed throughout his life either. So when I really started, as soon as Trump went down that escalator and said he was running for president, I got involved in politics. I started watching it. I started watching who supported him and everything like that. And I remember Jim Jordan just from watching him on the floor of Congress, speaking to the different people that go up there and testify. So, and that's him. I just remembered him. So, but the experience that my dad sold to those people was, if you could pin me, then you could do whatever you wanted. But my dad had taught me how to fight. He had been like a bare knuckle brawler earlier in his life. And I know that he had.
Oh, hold on. Oh, Oh, hold
We'll do
on.
one more on.
Hold on.
I
Hold
keep
on.
seeing this eye cream that immediately
Hold
brightens your
on.
dark circles.
Dang it. Hold on. So let me say this, because this is some paperwork. And the dad's name, he has since privated his account or shut down his account or what have you. But I want y'all to see this, because I want to show y'all something. His followers. There go Lizzie Graham. Hold on. Hold on. But when he said his dad taught him to fight, right? Burn knuckle brawl. This is his dad. I guess back in the day. Kyle Riley. So his dad, it made sense that his dad would teach him how to fight if he was a fighter. Right? Am I tripping? He was a known fighter. At age 38, he was out there like that. Fighting. One loss. Bakley, Georgia. So he said, even when he talked about his dad and his dad's fighting, would that not make sense? A nasty word. How do you know it's not AI? What's not AI? How I know you not AI? How you know I'm not AI? I mean, listen, even when you do a do AI, Chap TV, or whatever that mess is, when you ask them a question, you go to AI and they give you the appropriate answer, and the answer is right. Am I supposed to say, oh, well, yeah, the answer is, what he's saying is true, but I'm going to look over because it's the AI? Is that what y'all doing? So when they check, and they ask those questions just to test it and see if it's true, and it's true, but it's AI, then what? This is not AI. His dad just closed his account. These are email conversations. I mean, you know, when I think when people go to that extreme, they looking for a reason. They looking for a reason. And when that's that man. That's him. Pilot. Said he was a pilot. He even was on standby for the Olympics in Atlanta. I mean, so I don't know what you're looking for. How you know your president ain't AI. We know he act like he a reptilian, and it looks like several times that he have doubles. I mean, so I don't understand that. That's just a reason to doubt at convenience. Yeah, you over here listening to me. How you know I'm not AI? How do you know? You don't. So yeah, we gonna move on past that. I hate that question too. And everything is moving to AI. AI gonna have your job in a minute. And so when AI take over a job, so you gonna say, oh well, it really didn't take over my job because that's AI. It ain't a real person. That's what they moving to. That's what y'all voting for. What do you think Elon Musk is about? I mean, what are we doing? We're making excuses for facts just to doubt it. This child was trafficked. He was trafficked. And what he's saying, it lines up. Yesterday, I was in Miami Airport, 2024. Am I supposed to say, oh, this AI? Come on, y'all. We got to stop that. This is the man that trafficked and flew the helicopter and military for Trump and his partners. And he said his daddy taught him to fight. And his dad is a fighter. The wild child. Yeah, and it's just hurtful. Hold on, let me move on. People look for excuses not to keep it real about what's really going on. That's his dad. That's the man who adopted him to traffic him. Tomorrow, I go to Alabama to argue the court appealing notification. Oh, yeah, no, this is him. Jeffrey Epstein. Reference the testimony. Jim Jordan is worse than the PDFer. Okay. Yeah. Let me get back. It's just hurtful, man. This is just crazy just to know all the things that was put out there. Hold on. Let's hear this hot mic.
A MAGA Republican congressman who's been dodging town halls because he does not want to address how he has harmed and destroyed the lives of his constituents was caught at a GOP event on a hot mic talking about the Epstein files and saying that Donald Trump's name is all over the Epstein files. The Congress member's name is Mike Collins. He represents Georgia's 10th congressional district, and he thought he was in a crowd of friends and didn't think anybody was recording what he was saying. So when a participant who was at this GOP-only event asked him about the Epstein files, he said, look, I think that Donald Trump's name is all over these files. He was caught on the hot mic. But what he says, and I want you to listen very carefully, is he goes, because Donald Trump was the one who called the FBI against Epstein in order to get Epstein arrested, that Donald Trump was the hero of this fantasy world that's being created by MAGA Republican Congressmember Mike Collins. First, let me play for you what was captured on this hot mic within the past few days. But then I want to tell you, it's interesting, when Mike Collins talks about Donald Trump calling up the FBI, what's fascinating about that is that when I spoke to Michael Wolff, Donald Trump's former biographer, Wolf was potentially going to be the biographer for Jeffrey Epstein, met with Epstein multiple days, has hours and hours of recorded interview with Epstein. One of the things that Epstein speculated was because he and Donald Trump were involved in so many things together that after the two were getting litigious against each other over a real estate transaction, because
they gonna believe me one day,
dirt
Specs. They gonna believe me one day.
Going to be the biographer for Jeffrey Epstein, met with Epstein multiple days, has hours and hours.
Y'all been 10 steps ahead for a while, ain't you?
One of the things that Epstein speculated was because he and Donald Trump were involved in so many things together that after the two were getting litigious against each other over a real estate transaction, because they both had dirt on each other, Donald Trump may have struck first and then told on Epstein as an anonymous source, as basically an informant, if you will. Epstein was never sure. Maybe Trump told because they were doing stuff together, or Trump was there when Epstein was doing things. Epstein said to Wolf that may have taken place. And when Epstein shared that story with Wolf, that became part of Wolf's second book on Trump called Siege. Epstein returned from a trip to the United States and then was arrested again by Trump's DOJ at that point in time after entering that non-prosecution agreement. So let's tie this all together. First, let me play for you the hot mic moment where Mike Collins, again, who's avoided town halls, here's what he said at the GOP event. Let's play this clip.
I didn't get to ask my question, which was, party unity, the Epstein files, Epstein files. I mean, do you think Trump's in there?
Yeah, I'm sure he's in there. Because he's the one that was telling the FBI about it. He's the one that kicked the guy out of Mar-a-Lago and then called the FBI. Yeah, he's in there.
So, I mean, what's going to happen? Are you going to vote to release him? Or we'll just keep him?
Oh, we need to release him.
Can y'all hear what y'all good here? Are y'all listening to what y'all good here? Y'all gonna believe me one day. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, because I done told y'all this how many months ago? Now that it's on Midas. Now y'all believe it. So whoever that was saying, how we know it's not AI? Yeah. Y'all not gonna ask that once it finally gets to other networks. Yeah. That stuff be an insult. And then you don't want to hit the like button. You don't want to send a super chat, super sticker. You don't want to send no gems or no nothing. That's what blow my mind. T-Sipper's been knowing this. Because I done told him a long time ago. That's why I don't change my views. Because I know where I get my resources from. You said, oh, when a man said. That's right, cool crab. Then they'll believe it. But the reality of it is that if you are a consistent tea sipper, y'all done heard this several times, long time ago. And even when I'm coming across somebody who, ain't up to par, I will fill in so that y'all can connect the appropriate dot. Yeah. But let's go. Hit the like button. Double tap. Double tap the face of the screen or hit those 3 dots at the top right. And I'm going to wait because this stuff right here, I mean, he going to say a little more, I think. But y'all should already know this, man. Because I done told y'all a long time ago. Did I send that up there? I done let your cup run it over long. Your cup run it over a long time ago. But I can't wait till that Sasha Let me get y'all off my page. So y'all over here looking at. Yeah, once that Sasha stuff come out, and I'm gonna want y'all to remember all those key points that I'm showing y'all right now, so that y'all can see that those dots really do connect to his story, and it has been dated some time ago. You're gonna be like, God damn, Auntie Fee, that lady there. Yeah, yeah. Y'all double tap, get the likes up. Come on. Because I don't want to have to stop no more. Because I got my last show already set. And I got my new what is this called? Charge bank. Charging. I'm already old. I'm spending money. My T-shippers have sent a cash app and oh man. You lying to me. I know that didn't just happen. I know the devil is a lie. I know the devil is a lie. I know the devil is a lie. Did I just put that? Yeah, hold on. I'm up here bragging on my tea sippers. Ah, what is that about? Hold on. Y'all hit the like button. I think that hole was a little too tight. Y'all hear me? I think that hole was a little too tight. What just happened? I was bragging too soon. Hold on. Hey, that hole was a little too tight. What the what? What just happened? I had to stop because I didn't want it to say, hey, Janet, I was forcing it. Let me get back over here. Where was I at? Baby boom. I think that was a little too tight. I play too much. I don't want no lawsuit now. No, sir. How that happen? Get that up out of there. What we doing? What we doing, y'all? Wait. Hold up. Stop. No means no. No means no. Get up. Shit. I spent a pretty penny on that. I think that hole too tight. What do y'all do in that case? Y'all better find another where it fit. Where the fit is better. Make it more comfortable. I don't know what's going on. But I ain't gonna try to figure it out right now. I'm gonna set that right there. You listening? You listening with your good ear? Wrong hole. Hold on. Hey. Let me get over here. Before I start. Y'all know it don't take much. and I get the hee ha ha, and yeah, wrong hole. That's not it. Walking around shitting like Trump.
After
Woo!
that non-prosecution agreement. So let's tie this all together. First,
But how
let me
this
play for you the
happen?
hot mic moment where Mike Collins, again, who's avoided town halls, here's what he said at the GOP event. Let's play this clip.
I want to ask my question, which was, party
Can y'all hear?
Epstein files. Do you think Trump's in there? Yeah, I'm sure he's in there because he's the one that was telling the FBI about it. He's the one that kicked the guy out of law. Files. Do you think Trump's in there? Yeah, I'm sure he's in there because he's the one that was telling the FBI about it. He's the one that kicked the guy out of Mar-a-Lago and then called the FBI. Yeah, he's in there.
Told y'all he the snitch.
What's going to happen? Are you going to release him? Or just keep him? Oh, we need to release him. What about you? I have no problem releasing him, but you've got to go through the judicial. We all know that. The problem is, it'd be our luck if somebody's going to breach somebody that's supposed to be protected. Yeah, well, they've got to go through and victims' names and all that stuff. They've got to go through and fix all of that. And then, of course, now you got judges that are saying, I'm not going to release anything, grand jury, blah, blah, blah. This lady's over here filing an appeal or whatever. And it's I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a judge, but it is more complicated to say, boom, here's the files. Take them.
Now here, Democratic Congresswoman Stansberry says, look, even Collins is saying that Donald Trump's name is all over the files. Here, play this clip.
We know from reporting that Pam Bondi told Trump he's in the files. So these guys are totally manufacturing a smokescreen to shield the president.
What y'all need to hear
is
that he was the one who blew the whistle on Epstein because of the business. We heard his brother say it was because of the real estate. We done heard that several times. We've heard that several times. I can't believe this. Yeah, we got to pay close attention to who the snitch of it all. That's why I've been trying to tell y'all why he thought he was safe to say release the files. Because just like anybody who has a proffer, who is the snitch, he was thinking that he had worked out the deal to have his name redacted. He didn't know that there was an investigation going on with him. I don't know, but I think he thought, in my opinion, that he was redacted. Hell, because everybody else who be snitching and need their paperwork, they be wanting the corrected paperwork. And I'm basing that off of Quit. And who else is a snitch? I'm just basing it off how them snitches be moving when they be needing that paperwork. When they asses go to jail and they need that redacted paperwork or retype paperwork minus their name. You understand? And so I think that's what, if he was thinking with a clear mind. Now, I do understand he's sick. But that's what I think. He thought his name wasn't in there. Or hell, he forgot he was in there. One or the other. And once they went to work, they're looking at it. So that means that he never looks at any of the paperwork. Because that's the same paperwork when he was in office before. When he did the snitching. So did he not know what the paperwork looked like? I'm just saying.
I did ask my question, which was, part of you think the Epstein files, Epstein files? I mean, do you think Trump's in there? Yeah, I'm sure he's in there because he's the one that was telling the FBI about it. He's the one that kicked the guy out of Mar-a-Lago and then called the FBI. Yeah, he's in there. So, I mean, what's going to happen? Are you going to release him?
Hey, Kane Life, thank you for the flowers.
I have no problem releasing, but you've got to go through the judicial. We all know that. The problem is, it'd be our luck that somebody's going to breach somebody that's supposed to be protected. Yeah, well, they've got to go through and victims' names and all that stuff. They've got to go through and fix all of that. And then, of course, now you got judges that are saying, I'm not going to release anything, grand jury, blah, blah, blah. This lady's over here filing an appeal or whatever. And it's I'm not a lawyer and I'm not a judge, but it is more complicated to say, boom, here's the files.
Now here, Democratic Congresswoman Stansberry says, look, even Collins is saying
it's a no fit.
That Donald Trump's name is all over the files. Here, play this clip.
We know from reporting that Pam Bondi told Trump he's in the files. So these guys are totally manufacturing a smokescreen to shield the president. And in fact, there was a hot mic moment released today by Mike Collins, who's a representative from Georgia, in which he said, of course, Trump's in the files. He's all over them. So these guys know what's going on.
All right, now let's pull it back for a second. So let's just say Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files as the hero, as the protagonist who saved the day. Okay, well, if that's the case, Donald Trump, who has his face plastered on buildings in Washington, D.C., Donald Trump, who creates the most phony stories about himself in this hero fantasy that he has where he saves everyone with his savior complex, don't you think he'd probably want those files released right away? Wouldn't that be something that he wants out there?
Nope, he forgot he was in them.
I think that his name, which we know is in the files, repeatedly, Trump was briefed by his own Department of Justice in the Oval. Attorney General Pam Bondi told him in May, your name's all over this thing. And they came up with the plan. We've got to deep six this. We've got to hide it. Redact all references to my name. We're not releasing these things at all. Does that sound like somebody who is innocent or who is the hero? I'm going to play for you what Michael Wolff told me in just a moment about the falling out between Epstein and Trump. But let me do what I would have normally done as a lawyer. If I were to present what's called a summary judgment motion, where all you can do is give undisputed facts. I'm not trying to be argumentative. Let me just give you the undisputed facts, and you can judge for yourself. Then let me play for you what Michael Wolff says. Okay, undisputed fact from the late 80s through about 2004, 2005.
Undisputed fact.
Donald Trump and Epstein were very close friends, potentially even best friends. That's undisputed fact one. Undisputed fact number two. In 2002, Donald Trump told New York Magazine, Epstein is a great guy. He likes beautiful women. Many are on the younger side, right? Undisputed fact number three.
Let's go.
When Donald Trump wrote a book, it was ghostwritten back in 1997, he gave a copy to Jeffrey Epstein and says, Jeffrey Epstein, you are the greatest. Undisputed fact number four. Donald Trump has been found liable for sexual assault by a federal jury. Undisputed fact number five. Donald Trump is on audio saying that if you're rich like him, you can grab women by their genitals, and they let you do it if you're rich and famous. Undisputed fact number six, when confronted with that, Trump said that's the way men have been for millions of years, fortunately or unfortunately. Undisputed fact number seven, in that case where Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault, Donald Trump said that there were certain women who he wouldn't have sexually assaulted simply because they were not his type, and then told the lawyer that she was not his type. Undisputed fact number eight, Donald Trump spoke in front of a group of young Republicans, high school students and college students in New York back in 2024, and said locker room talk. That was the most courageous thing that he's ever said, calling sexually assaulted women locker room talk. Another undisputed fact, Donald Trump said that at his beauty pageants, where there would be girls from ages 14 to 28 at these beauty pageants, he said he would go in and he would inspect the people naked.
Yeah.
And because he was the
kids
host of the beauty pageant, you get away with it. You just get to inspect them and say, I'm the inspector. You know, he's like a doctor, is what he said. You know, words to those effect. Another undisputed fact, when Donald Trump was on Howard Stern, he said that Lindsay Lohan, who may have been 18 at the time, she may have been 17 or just turned 18, he said he would love to sleep with her because she's mentally ill. The mentally ill ones, he goes, the mentally ill ones, they're the best ones in bed, he says. I mean, or words to those effect, which is disgusting. Another undisputed fact, in 1997 or so, the Sunday Mirror, which was owned by Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, Robert Maxwell, talked about how Ghislaine would bring young women to Donald Trump, many different young women Ghislaine would bring to Donald Trump, and he would keep them in his penthouse.
Can y'all please double tap and hit the like button,
we
please?
know that another undisputed fact, some underage girls were trafficked from Mar-a-Lago, like Virginia Giuffre, 17 years old. She was homeless. She got a job at Mar-a-Lago at the spa. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein went to the spa, recruited this child to become a masseuse for Epstein, and then Epstein started sex trafficking her to rich and powerful men. That's another undisputed fact. Donald Trump, undisputed, said that Epstein stole girls from Mar-a-Lago, stole them from Mar-a-Lago, like Virginia Giuffre.
How do you steal somebody from their job?
Virginia Giuffre, that's stolen from Mar-a-Lago, so that's an undisputed fact. And girls, plural, we know that Epstein and Ghislaine brought over a 14-year-old girl to Mar-a-Lago and said, do you like this one, or words to that effect. Jane Doe, 14 years old, who testified at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial about this introduction to Trump. We don't know more than that. That's what happened. We know that Trump and Epstein would have at least one event, maybe multiple, at Mar-a-Lago, where girls of indeterminate age, many girls of indeterminate age, were told that they would meet VIP model agencies. By the way, Trump owned a modeling agency, Epstein owned a modeling agency, and they hung out with the crew of people who owned modeling agencies, where there was lots of accusations of sexual assault of underage people at different modeling agencies, like Epstein's modeling agency, this other French guy's modeling agency, this whole crew. Including Donald Trump through this event, the Look of the Year competition with this modeling agency, and this modeling agency would use these, was known for sexually abusing girls. So that's another undisputed. So these are all
just goes
undisputed
on and
facts, and they threw this event at Mar-a-Lago. We don't know the age of these girls at Mar-a-Lago at all, but they were of all different ages of Mar-a-Lago. And what happened there?
And it is coming out that there was trafficking. Child trafficking going on at Mar-a-Lago. I said that. Let's go.
These was known for sexually abusing girls. So that's another undisputed. So these are all undisputed facts, and they threw this event at Mar-a-Lago. We don't know the age of these girls at Mar-a-Lago at all, but they were of all different ages of Mar-a-Lago. And what happened there, we don't know. You know, were they playing hopscotch? What the heck was going on? You know, unclear. So those are, I think, undisputed facts right there.
Did you know that the liver is the second largest organ in your body?
Mm-hmm. I need to go get one of them those. I got one in the cabinet. Let's go. That's her wolf. Come on.
And Epstein ended. Here, play this clip.
Now, Epstein's explanation for why this friendship ended is as follows. In 2004, Epstein believed himself to be the high bidder on a piece of real estate in Palm Beach, a house. $36 million was his bid. He took his friend Trump around to see the house to advise him on how to move the swimming pool. Trump thereupon went around Epstein's back and bid the house to advise him on how to move the swimming pool. Trump thereupon went around Epstein's back and bid $40 million for the house. and got the property. Epstein, who was well acquainted, in fact, deeply involved with Trump's scattered finances, understood that he didn't have $40 million to pay for this house. Now, if that was the case, it was someone else's $40 million. At the time, Epstein believed this to be the $40 million of a Russian oligarch by the name of RI0T. Less than 2 years later, this same house that Trump had bought for $40 million was sold for $95 million. Oh, wow. And it was, in fact, sold to Mr. RI0T. This is all a red flag of money laundering. And what Epstein did, and he was furious about losing this house. I mean, there's something about these guys that nothing rouses them so much as a real estate betrayal. Epstein, after the sale of this house, after Trump went around his back, got this house, Epstein began to threaten him. He began to threaten him with lawsuits. He began to threaten him with going to the press and saying that Trump was a front man for a money laundering deal. Trump panics at this point, and Epstein believed, and he believed to his dying day, that it was Trump who went to the police, Trump, who was fully acquainted with what was going on at Epstein's house, fully acquainted for many years. Trump went to the police and, as Epstein said, dropped the dime on him.
Yep.
That is to say, informed the police of what was going on, and an investigation began, and all of Epstein's legal problems for the next 15 years began to unfold. This story about this piece of real estate and their falling out was first published.
So it had nothing to do about him stealing. But he was trafficking out of Mar-a-Lago. That, remember, Jack Smith said that they can seize that property because it's not listed as a resident, it's listed as a business, a club. So that's why they were able to seize. So it was a place of business. Yeah.
Legal problems for the next 15 years began to unfold. This story about this piece of real estate and their falling out was first published in June 2019. It's published actually in my book, Siege, the second book I had written about the Trump White House. Epstein had recounted this story to me. I put it in this book. Epstein at that moment was in Paris. He read the book. He called me with some alarm, and he said he was afraid that he might have said too much. 3 weeks later, he returned to the United States from Paris and was promptly arrested on the tarmac of Teterboro Airport in New Jersey when his plane landed.
So one of the questions is, not in a way that Trump is like the good guy, but one of the things Epstein speculated was, could there have been a situation where Donald Trump, because of that litigation involving the Russian oligarch's acquisition of this home that Epstein told Trump about, then Trump swooped in and sold it for twice the amount, and there was litigation, did Trump then talk to the police about Epstein in order for Trump to avoid the litigation with Epstein and for Trump to get the property, keep the property, and avoid the litigation? You know, you could put that together. So I don't know. I'm just giving you undisputed facts, circumstantial evidence, and you can judge for yourself. But one,
please hit the three dots at the top corner right, or wherever those three dots are on your computer. It was just like 300 and some people in here, and the likes did not go up. Double tap the face on your phone that you're looking. Yeah, double tap if you haven't already. Get the likes up. And then those three dots are over here at the top right.
one of the things that Mike Collins is now doing is posting things like this: go woke, go. And there was litigation. Did Trump then talk to the police about Epstein in order for Trump to avoid the litigation with Epstein and for Trump to get the property, keep the property, and avoid the litigation? You know, you could put that together. So I don't know. I'm just giving you undisputed facts, circumstantial evidence, and you can judge for yourself. But one of the things that Mike Collins is now doing is posting things like this: go woke, go broke, with Donald Trump's image and likeness next to the Cracker Barrel logo. Mike Collins is posting, "It's beyond comprehension that there are 55 million people in this country." But one of the things that Mike Collins is now doing is posting things like this: go woke, go broke, with Donald Trump's image and likeness next to the Cracker Barrel logo. Mike Collins is posting, "It's beyond comprehension that there are 55 million people in this country with visas. The Trump administration says it's reviewing all 55 million people with USA visas. There's not 55 million people with visas in the United States of America right now." Talking about potentially all people in the history of time having visas anywhere throughout the world, not living in the United States. But this is the type of things that Mike Collins is doing while not throwing town halls, and then posting images like this: "Smells like victory," in response to Fox saying Cracker Barrel's changing its logo back. So the bottom line is that we all just want the answers. We all want to know what the hell is going on. When Ghislaine Maxwell, at her meeting with Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, who now leads the Department of Justice, when Ghislaine Maxwell says that, Epstein was like a gentleman, and lots of people just wanted to hang with him just for the fun of it. These weren't creepy people at all. People in your cabinet, people who have jobs with you, is what she says to Todd Blanche, like people in Trump's cabinet. Here, play this clip.
But did I think these guys were coming for that? I really don't. If you met Epstein, there's no way that this cast of characters, of which it's extraordinary.
Thank you, Janet.
Someone in your cabinet.
Thank you, Spec.
Who you value as your co-workers and would be with him if he was a creep or because they wanted sexual favors.
You're a liar.
Sexual favors, he will find that. They didn't have to come to Epstein for that.
It was convenient. Y'all were in it together.
And whenever I'm doing these reports on the Epstein files now, I think it's also important to know that Donald Trump is gutting victim services for victims of sexual assault, and child victims of sexual assault, child victims of sex trafficking. New York Attorney General Platkin was on Legal AF and talked about how Donald Trump is getting rid of victims protection services at the DOJ and funding local victims protection services at state and city levels. Here, play this clip.
First of all, thanks for having us. It's great to be here. And I have to just give Rob and the other 20 AGs on this case, and frankly all 23 of us in the coalition, a huge shout out. This is just a team effort on all of these cases. But this case really, frankly, shocks me that we had to file. You noted 40 plus years ago, the noted liberal Ronald Reagan signed into law the Victims of Crime Act because we as a nation were not supporting people who had gone through these unimaginable horrors. We're talking about sexual assault victims, victims of domestic violence, gun violence victims, child sex abuse victims. These are the types of people and their families and loved ones who benefit from this program. It supports them in moments of need. I can't think of something that is less political than that. And yet here we are, for the first time ever, having an administration say, unless you bend the knee and do something that courts and Congress have said you don't have to do with respect to mass immigration enforcement, we're not going to fund your victim services. We're going to tell these incredibly vulnerable people that they're out of luck. I think it's unconscionable, and I think this case, among all of the cases we've done, is frankly the most shocking that we've had to file.
So again, let's just get the answers. Let's get the info. Let's get the files. Trump's not okay. Trump's not the hero in the story. Okay, Donald Trump was with Epstein during these horrific moments.
Oh yeah,
and we all
he all in. He was all in, cuz.
Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
He was all in, cuz. I'm in like Flynn. And then I get this. I'm finna get ready to go, y'all, cuz I got oh girl coming up. So I'm seeing this. Let me change the background. No, I can leave it up. No, let me change it. Again, happy birthday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you. Thank you for the sacrifice. Greatly appreciate it. Where would we be today without you? Somewhere we probably would not want to be. That I can at least say. No, that's too big. Hold on, y'all. I want to get it right for Sasha. Shout out to Sasha for bringing it to us. The truth. A truth. Yeah. So, I'm looking, I'm scrolling, digging like Auntie Fee do. I can dig, boy. I should have been in that gold rush days. Digging. Looking for it. Yeah, you can look at these babies and tell, can't you? They somewhere they don't want to be. With old Jeff Fry. So, as I was digging, it says, from Virginia Giuffre's files, Elon Musk Grok AI has confirmed this picture is real and is in Virginia's release case paperwork. The boy encircled in red on the right is William Sasha Riley. You can look at the nose and you can look at the mouth. I'm going to say it again. From Elon Musk, Grok AI has confirmed this picture is real and is in Virginia's release case paperwork. Now, remember, in Virginia, she mentioned William Bill Riley, which is Sasha's foster dad, the same dad that taught him how to fight when we just saw his fighting MMA, whatever. And he was a part of the Dixie Mafia. But it says the Virginia release case paperwork, the boy encircled in red on the right is William Sasha Riley. This little boy right here at 10, 11 years old. I hope this is the kid that put that stick. Yeah. Is this guy right there with Epstein. And if you look, you can look at these other 3 little boys and you can tell, you can absolutely tell they don't want to be there. They're not happy. And especially this one looks like he's there, if that's a little boy, beyond his will. It looks like something has happened to him. It is confirmed that the little boy up front, it is indeed Sasha. What do we say about that? How do we process that? At first, I thought it was saying this little boy. I'm like, no, when he was little, his hair was blonde. That ain't. And then I kept reading. I said, oh, yeah, that's him. That's him. Same nose, same mouth, dark eyes. Wow, more and more is coming to surface. Absolutely, Mimi. And I'm not making no excuses. They can take the video, make me take it. They can do all of that if they want to. I don't care nothing about none of that. Well, I may need to go ahead and get a little snippet, huh? I may need to go ahead and get a snippet while it's up, just in case they pull a stunt, to try to make sure it don't nobody see it. Oh, yeah, they gonna see it, all right. They may not have to watch the whole thing, but they gonna see it. Yeah, that's just turned my stomach, I know. But we gotta know that it's true, right? We have to know the truth. The truth is gonna set us free. It is, every time the truth comes out and every time it's validated, although it's hurtful, and it is very hurtful, I'm not gonna even lie. It is indeed painful to know that these kids were tormented like that by grown men who didn't have to do it. I mean, it was like, what's wrong with you? Hey, Design. Yas Design. Hey, Lady Love. It didn't have to be this way. Why did you do this? Let me move it this way. I'm trying to get a snippet of the truth. And I would hate to have been a victim and feel like every time I turn around, it's getting close. The truth is coming out. The truth is coming out, baby. And the sitting president know his ass is grass when it comes out. And so this man is in hiding. Willing have passed, they say, lie detector test, and willing to take another one. Let me get it. Yeah. And you were adopted just to be trafficked. And not only did the man pimp him, but his wife abused him. SA'd him. So that lady that I showed you standing next to him, yeah, and the little, where is that at? Oh, wow. Wait, it's somewhere. Where he talked about, oh man, I need to find it. They talked about the little girl. Sammy. Sammy is the little black girl. Oh yeah, I gotta find it. What time is it? Oh man. I'm gonna have to. Sammy is the little black girl who the family tortured, he said. And Samantha said all she wanted to do was dance. And they cut off her toes. They cut off her toe so she would, to take away her dream of dancing. Can y'all believe that? And I think she is the girl that wanted, let me stop. I don't know that because I was about to say something I didn't. I may have gotten them confused. Yeah, Sammy. She was the little black girl. That his family tortured. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Y'all hit the like button for me. That's Sasha. You can look at the mouth. Oh my God. You can look at the mouth and the nose. This is at the age that he is fighting off Trump and Biggs, Andy Biggs, and Jim Jordan. Can y'all believe that? This kid right here, 10, 11, 12 years old, was fighting off your congressman. And Supreme Court Clarence Thomas, he can't remember Clarence Thomas ever assaulting him, but he was there. He was most definitely there. And I just showed you, he couldn't, nor could he remember if Lindsey Graham, he thinks so, but he can't remember for sure. But we saw that Lindsey Graham was William B. O'Reilly's contact. Hey, Jesse. Yeah, watch over him. I'm really still believing, kind of feeling like he must have lived in Minnesota one time, cause baby, the way they acting a fool in Minnesota. Now they going door to door. They looking for them. I mean, what is that about? Which one was about Samantha? I may have put it to my, because I know I put Sammy. I think I did. Hold on. Before I go, let me find it. That's heavy. Y'all, that's some heavy stuff. That's heavy duty, baby. Let me see if I can find it right quick before I have to go. I gotta go. I can't be up all night. Hold on. And I got it set for 9:30. Dang it. That is Sasha. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Hold on, y'all. Can you imagine? Lord, please. Protect him. Because they'll find him and it'll be said that You know, he did it to himself. Every time I find something, somebody that's associated or attached, they did something to themselves. Yeah, no, I don't believe that. Hold on, y'all. I sent it to myself. We're just trying to see which one it is. Hold on. Oh, and this one hurt me too. This hurt me too, y'all. Palestinian reunited with their child. Look at Lord, that just. Now, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? This makes no sense to me. This makes no sense to me. Said I was saying, please, God, please. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is just so hurtful to me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me hurry up and find this, y'all. This is just, ugh. Is this the one? Let me see.
Are you looking for proof that Sasha Riley was real? Well, here you go.
What am I looking for?
Birth certificate. Military discharge papers.
What am I supposed to be looking for, y'all?
Seems pretty real to me.
This lot, the young lady in Oklahoma.
Tattoos? More tattoos?
What am I supposed to be looking for now? Remember.
Short hair?
Long hair. Oh, yeah, here you go. Long. Yeah, that's him. That's him, long hair. Y'all, what am I supposed to be looking for? Now I don't remember.
What do you need? Are you looking for proof that Sasha Riley was real? Well, here you go. Birth certificate. Military discharge papers. Speeding tickets. Seems pretty real to me.
Y'all, what am I? Sammy. Okay. Thank you.
Tattoos?
Okay, hold on. That's not it. Let me find Sammy.
Short hair?
I think it's her. I think it was her too. Long hair.
What do you need?
I think she was the lady.
Are you looking for proof that Sasha Riley was real?
Hold
well,
on.
Here you go. Birth certificate. Military discharge papers. Speeding tickets. Seems pretty real to me. What other proof do you need?
That was the first sergeant.
Tattoos? Are you looking for proof that Sasha Riley was real? Well, here you go.
Hold on.
Short hair, birth certificate, military discharge papers. Did you know that Sasha Riley's dad was an emergency service helicopter pilot for the 1996 Olympics? What? Are you looking for proof that Sasha Riley? Who wants to play 6 Degrees of Sasha Riley?
No, I think it was the other one.
Disclaimer. All.
I remember this.
Did you know that Sasha Riley's dad was an emergency service helicopter pilot for the 1996 Olympics?
I think this is her.
Let's dig into this.
I think it was her.
In 1996, the Olympics were in Atlanta, Georgia. And according to this article from 1995, there were 5 U.S. helicopter operators that submitted bids to provide short-haul transportation for the Olympics. It says they're not revealing the names of the bidders, but says they are all top of the line companies. That's good. We would want that for the Olympics. So as it turns out, the company that won that bid was O'Reilly's company. But hey, I mean, if he's a top of the line company, then that makes sense. He was actually recognized for his service by the FAA in 2020. This article from atomomentsnotice.com outlines the award that he received, a little bit about his history. And here's the paragraph. You can see him talking about it. I got the contract to provide the helicopter EMS service for the 1996 Summer Olympic Games, he said. I leased a helicopter for that.
It's not.
What kind of top of the line helicopter company doesn't have its own company and needs to lease? I got a private message from somebody yesterday.
It's this one.
That said to look at Sasha's tattoos and think about the meaning, and that there's one that's clearly for Sammy. So what do we know about Sammy? Sammy was a black girl. She wanted to be a dancer. She was tortured for weeks by Sasha's parents and was asked to be put out of her misery. They cut off her toe and thereby took away her chance of ever being a dancer and killing her dream.
Can y'all believe it? Let's go.
I got a private message from somebody yesterday that said to look at Sasha's tattoos and think about the meaning, and that there's one that's clearly for Sammy. So what do we know about Sammy? Sammy was a black girl. She wanted to be a dancer. She was tortured for weeks by Sasha's parents and was asked to be put out of her misery. They cut off her toe and thereby took away her chance of ever being a dancer and killing her dreams. Just part of the type of torture that these people do.
So let's look at this tattoo. I would not be able to figure it out. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, Lord Jesus. Let me let y'all see this tattoo. Y'all see it? Do y'all see the tattoo? She is dancing on her tippy toes. That is the tattoo. Wow. Wow. The stairs to heaven. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is just some of the most bizarre, and I do mean bizarre, I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay, y'all, I'll be back. I got, oh wow, hold on. If ever there was a doubt, I mean, and it has not been one, I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. I believed it, and I absolutely...
That's Sammy.
That's Sammy. Oh, my God. That's Sammy. Oh, my God. What do we do with that? What do we do with that? What do we do with that? This is y'all president. Y'all, what do we do with that? How do we process stuff like that? Y'all, whoo. Let me get back to it. How do we process that? What do y'all think? What do you think? I don't even know where it's at now. And this is what Trump is trying to avoid. If we don't think that Trump don't know that this stuff is out there, we are fooling ourselves. If we think that he don't know, we're lying to ourselves. Okay, let me go, y'all. I'm gonna get ready for the next talk about Candace. May we never forget. This is what's coming. I'm trying to find it. I don't even know where I had it. Gotta be over here. I want to end on dang it, where is it? There we go.
Are you looking for proof that
Oh no. I want to end on the tattoo with Sammy. I want to end on Sammy. Where it? There it go. He said he only had 3 friends. Sammy was one of them, and those other 2 girls. And Sammy was tortured by Bill, his foster parents. And she had a dream to be a dancer. And they cut off her toe. To end her dream. Oh my God. Oh my God. And these were kids, y'all. This was kids. Oh my God. This is a whole nother type of evil. Let's be clear. And he keeps Sammy with him. Hey, Andre. Trump knows that's why. He knows. And I think he absolutely witnessed. I absolutely believe they are trying to find Sammy. Not Sammy. I'm sorry, Sasha. And he made mention that he has Trump's medical records to help explain why he has to keep going. Yeah, he can't feel back there. He don't have control of his feelings back there. Because he was trying to take him out. condolences to Sammy's family. I wonder, do they even know? And rest in peace to this little young baby girl. Where do the masters come from? What masters? What masters? His sergeant in the military confirmed that somebody did have the child porn and that Sasha was in it. That he was recognizable. He didn't look at it. The lieutenant did. I mean, people could, and it's absolutely true. As Sue happy as Trump and his organization is, they ain't said nothing about Sasha. They ain't said nothing. Nothing. Because of the names that are also attached to it other than Trump. But ain't nobody said nothing about defamation. I'ma sue, false accusations, none of that. Why? From the pits of hell, they made deals with the devil. That's why Trump said there's nothing. We knew it was odd that he would say that. Who says that? Who don't, to even say that? It's still time, you still breathing. You may want to get your life right with Christ. He said he don't think that there is nothing he can do to make it into heaven. I understand why. Now I get it. The Christian in me was saying, as long as you ain't blaspheming, you need to check and talk to God, make sure you ain't blaspheming against the Holy Spirit. Here I go, I always trying to find a way for somebody. Baby, I get it now. I believe that they are diehard Zionists, devil worshiping, child sacrificing, evil people. So y'all, I'll be back. That is Sasha. That is Sasha. And he has Sammy tatted on his body. His little friend. They made friends. They knew that as long as they would do the videos together, that they wouldn't be hurt or harmed. There wouldn't be any torture to him. I do remember him saying that there was one little girl that he was forced to put hands on. But I don't think it was Sammy. Okay, y'all, I'll be back to see what other dots Candace is going to tie for us, okay? I hope I brought y'all some good tea tonight. I hate to end on sad notes. This is horrible. It is indeed horrible. But this little baby right here is Sasha with Jeffrey Epstein and a couple of other boys. Or this may be a little girl. I don't know. Or you can tell they don't want to be there. And this stairway to heaven is Sasha. Not Sasha. It's Sasha's tattoo of Sammy, the little black girl who was trafficked with him. And all she wanted to grow up to be was a dancer. And his parents cut off her toes so that she didn't have to dream about that anymore.